Police have arrested 2 men in connection with a shooting outside a Croydon nightclub. The 2 men were arrested in West London yesterday after armed officers fired plastic bullets at their car, forcing it to stop. The arrests come 4 days after a 27-year-old man was shot at the Atlantis nightclub in Croydon. Officers who gave chase were also fired at by a gunman.
She don't want my coffee name. All she knows is after one night with me, it's gon' change. And she knows and she cares and she stares. She's not scared. She likes my gangster name, gangster style, gangster ways. It's a gangster day, gangster name, gangster style, gangster ways. It's a gangster day, gangster name, gangster style, gangster ways. It's a gangster day.
Friends, drugs, and hope. Because it covers a few things. It covers a few things. Covers a few things still. A few things we can talk about. So I want to talk about drugs. Because people like to highlight that like it's some kind of thing that I should be ashamed of or something that has been continuous in my life after the age of 21. 21? Yeah, from when I came out of pen, 18, I'd never ever smoked crack again in my life to this day. So I smoked it the last time when I was probably 17, 18. Okay, just to make that clear, when I came out 2001, I wasn't burning crack. But I definitely was taking E's and stuff like that. Well, just E's, Mitsubishi's, stuff like that in 2001. Just so we can make everything clear. Okay. Yeah, so, yeah. My relationship with drugs. Because it came from a very early age. Earlier than it was supposed to. Obviously from I started not being at home and that. Flirting around with the streets. Cigarettes. Weed. Etc. etc. Everything was socially and that, you know. First you do drink, alcohol. But I never done crazy stuff like what I see other people doing, you know, like when they done. I saw people that sniffing glue and that in children's homes and that. I was never on stuff like that. But I did used to see like youths doing that, but I knew that was definitely not the thing. Definitely not. But then obviously I got influenced to smoke crack. So obviously crack is like hard cocaine cooked. Obviously you cook it, it turns to crack. And then you break it down and you burn a spliff, like you smash it up in like in a note, mash it down, crush it into powder, and then pour it onto your spliff. That's how it would go. All that pipe stuff and that, I've never ever ventured into that life. But I used to smoke spliffs. That's what I had done when I was young, like when I was probably 13, 14, 15, got out of jail. 17 to 18, maybe 11 to 18, but 17 area, they went back to prison and never smoked again. So that's the timeline. But me smoking crack, the last time I smoked crack was in 1997. Ever. That's a whole 26 years, I'd say. Is that right? I'm 23. Yeah. That's the last time. And when I used to bun it, it was a fashion thing. It wasn't nothing that the popular guys or the it guys wasn't doing. You know, it was seen as something to celebrate. It wasn't frowned upon when we was doing it. You know what I mean? It wasn't nothing like that. It wasn't how you seen people end up. And that's why I kind of can relate to the people in Brixton, you know, the people that you see, like the junkie, well, you call them junkies, but they're like drug users. I wouldn't call them junkies. That's a bad name for me to even use. But the drug users, because I don't frown on them. Do you know what I mean? I put them in my drama series before, so it's not like I don't speak to them. And sometimes I look at it and I think like that, it seems like an extension of us, like the people in our community that you see walking around daily, because most of them are like our uncles, our cousins, our sisters, our brothers, like people that used to be with us, used to walk around with us, used to party, used to eat with, used to probably have relationships with. But now they're walking around and they're on drugs and that. Like, I find it hard not to can relate to that situation. Even though some people might frown upon it because of their approach or the way they are. But that's not even them. That's the drugs. And I know it. Do you know what I mean? And I can talk about it freely because I've come through it. If I didn't come through it and I had something to be ashamed of, I'm able to talk about this. But you know what I mean? Like, there'll be a lot of us that have a lot of, not have a lot, but have people in our family that may be messed up on drugs. You know what I mean? I've been through that. Like, I know so many people that have been through that and ain't been able to come through it. You know, someone asked me the other day, did I ever go mad? I've never ever lost my mind. You know, like all the time I've done in prison, I've never ever lost my mind. Never. I've cried, but I've never lost my mind. Do you know what I mean? I've never lost my mind, so. But yeah, like I was saying, obviously, I used to smoke a lot of crack. First it was just stones, 1 stone, 2 stone, half a 6, 16th. Then you get like 2s or 3 ways on a quarter. And your appetite for it's getting bigger. And you start venturing into different fields of making money. It starts opening your eyes to things of, okay, because what you was getting before is not enough. So you kind of look around and it makes you open your eyes and see like, wow. So what we used to do, what we done is we started to jump over counters in banks. And when I'm telling you this, it's not like I'm not trying to boast about it. I'm just saying this is what we went through in the world that I lived in when I was on drugs. This is what I was going through. So my appetite for the drugs got more. And our eyes started to open to certain things. And it opens your mind and certain things, you start seeing different things, and the different things that you want are more expensive. If you get what I'm saying. So what we'd start to do is we start to go into building societies and jump over the counters. We was never hurting anyone. We was never touching anyone. We was just in and we was out, jumping over the counter, Abbey Nationals, taking money out of the drills and running out. One man could get 7 bags, the next man could get 10, next man could get 3, next man could get 5, next man could get nothing. Do you know what I mean? But there'd be some man that be going over and getting what they need to get. There'd be some man that be standing at the doors, or you know what I mean, that man might have provided the car and he's the driver. That was a setup in the man them who was going out because this is the life that they wanted. They decided this is it, this is me, this is how I want to live, and this is it, let's get it. That was the area we lived in at the time. So once we started doing that, our taste for the finer things started to level up. But coming from Brixton, I think we was more Jamaican-ified.
Gun-toting folk. Some of them in turn were chased out because they were an embarrassment by the political masters. And I say they ended up in first Miami and New York principally. Some of them went to Canada, Toronto, and set up their drugs operations.
But the Jamaican gangsters soon discovered they weren't welcome in their new home.
Federal agents conduct simultaneous raids in Boston, Miami, Dallas, and 11 other cities. Their targets, Jamaican drug gangs called posses because of their penchant for Wild West-type shootouts.
The American authorities pursued the Yardis relentlessly for 5 years.
The American law enforcement caught on to the posses and things started pursuing a policy